Alright, so we're about to go over mean, median, and mode. If you got questions at any time, you can ask. Alright, so what I like to do for mean, we did this last year. I like to underline the A. I like to underline the A. Reason being, another word for mean is average. So if I say find the mean and find the average, that's the same thing. Alright, the other reason I like to underline the A is because the actual way to find the mean or average is to add, which has an A, all numbers, which also has an A.
And divide by how much there are.
Yep. Add all numbers. Then divide by numbers there are. Just use the handwriting. Alright, so definition, now we're going to do an example. Alright, so mean is the average. Alright, we underline the A. Alright, and then we add all numbers, which also we underline the A here. Add all numbers, then divide by however many numbers there are. Alright, so for example, before we even go to the next definition, let's say I have the numbers 13, 15, 20, and 35. Let's say those are my numbers and they told me to find the mean. Alright. By definition, I have to add all numbers. That's the first step. So 13 plus 15 plus 20 plus 35. Alright. That gives me what?
83.
Alright, so that's 55 plus another 15 is going to give me 70 plus 13 is 83. Good. So 83 is my total right there. Alright. Yeah, you can scoot up. And then the last step of that is divide by however many numbers there are. How many numbers do we have? 4. So I take my 83 divided by 4, and that's going to give me what?
20.75.
20.75. Good. That's how I find mean or average. So whether they tell you either one of those, okay, either one of those, we got to be able to find it. Mean or average. Don't get those confused. They're the same thing. Okay, same thing. Alright. Next. Alright, we have the word median. Alright, median. Alright, so we're going to write that down. Alright, now what I like to do for median is underline the I. Alright, underline the I. Alright. The way you find the median, the first step, before I do anything, we have to put everything in order from what? Least to greatest. Good. So before you even find anything with median, first things first, least to greatest. So I'm going to use these same numbers right here. I'm going to use these same numbers. I will get to that. So
Well, it's already in least to greatest.
that is true. So we're going to say order least to greatest. Then find middle number. Which is why I underline the I. Alright, because I underline this I right here. Median and middle go together. Median and middle. Yes.
There is no middle number because there's only 4 numbers.
Alright, so we're gonna get to that. Alright, we got 4 numbers, right? So let's go. We got definition down, order least to greatest, find middle number. Now let's go ahead and pursue it. So again, I'm going to rewrite my numbers right here. 13, 15, 20, 35. And then for this problem's sake, I'm going to do the easy way of this. So we're just going to add another number. Let's say we add 40 in here. Okay? Say we add 40. The original way to find the middle number is you cross out one from each side until you're left with one number left in the middle. Alright, so I cross out one from the left, cross out one from the right. Cross out one from the left, cross out one from the right. And now I found my median, which is 20. In this problem's case. Alright, but this only happens when I have an odd number. So right now I got 5 numbers, which is an odd number. If I had 7 numbers and I just added 2 more numbers here and here, this will still be my median. So when I got an odd number, it's easy. Finding the median is easy when I got an odd number. But that's not going to always be the case. So let's say my original one is the problem here. So let's say I had 13, 15, 20, and 35. Okay? So now I'm going to pursue the same steps. Cross out one from each side and try to get one in the middle. So I'll cross out from the left, cross out from the right. Alright, now if I do that again, I'm going to be left with nothing, right? So I can't do that. If I cross out these two, I'm not going to have anything. So when I have 2 numbers left in the middle, which is going to happen every time I got an even number. 4 is an even number, right? 6 is an even number. If I add 2 more numbers, if I add 4 more numbers, that's 8. Alright, but right now I got 4 numbers, which is an even number. Alright, so I cannot cross out my last 2 because I'm going to have nothing. So what you have to do when you're left with 2 numbers in the middle is it goes back to this definition right here. Find the average or the mean of these 2 numbers. Alright, so I want to, by definition, what does average say do? What's right, so add these 2 together. And divide by 4. Well, how many numbers am I dealing with? 2. There you go. Good, good, good. So add 15 plus 20. Yep, plus 20 equals 35. And now I just added 2 numbers to get to that, right? So that's what you got to ask yourself. How many numbers did I add to get to this number, which was 2? Alright, so I divide by 2. So 35 divided by 2 gives me what? Equals 17.5, which is my median.
I thought it was 18.
There you go.
That was
Close.
though. You figured that in your head? Yeah, that was
Because 36 divided by 2 is 18. Good. Alright, so that's median. Alright, so the thing is, the good thing is that when I end up with 2 numbers left in the middle, it goes back to the definition of one of the other ones, which is the average. Alright, add those 2 numbers up in the middle, divide by 2.
Dividing is just taking a number and splitting it in half.
Exactly. If you divide by 2, yes. If you divide by 2, you split it in half. If I divide by 3, I'm splitting it in 3 equal portions. That's all division is divided in however many equal portions I'm dividing by.
I mean, honestly, you could probably do that in your head because if you think about it, 36 divided by 2 is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think 35 divided by 2 would be?
Right. Yep. And you'll get used to seeing the more you see division, and that's a skill like you know, especially with the word problems. Division comes up with those word problems.
My problem is with the wrong problems, just looking up how to.
That's median. All right, now the next one is mode, which is usually the easiest one to remember. All right, so mode. All right, I like to underline the O. All right, and the simple definition for this one is the most often. Most often. All right, now underline the O there. Most often. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah. All right, most often. All right, so an example. Let's say we got 13, 24, 16, 13, 27, 48. Let's say these are my numbers. Alright. Most often means it happens the most. Which one of these numbers appear more than other ones? 13. I see it twice, right? Boom, boom. So my mode equals 13. Alright, another example that they'll give you, they'll try to throw you off like this. You'll see something like 12, 31, 12, 16, 31, 15, oh shoot, and then 31 again. Alright. Alright. Put my camera back around. Alright, so again, let's look at this one. Mode means most often. With this first one, we only had one set of numbers that repeated itself. Alright. Now we gotta look here. Alright. What's the first number I see that repeats itself?
31.
Alright, how many times do I see it?
3 times.
1, 2, 3. How many? What's the other number that repeats itself? How many? Twice. So which one repeats itself the most?
31.
31. So sometimes they'll give you two numbers that repeat itself, but one of them
One that repeats itself.
the most. There you go. So mode for this one equals 31. I didn't even mean to do 31 and 13 backwards.
I'll probably write a little note on the side, saying that choose the one that repeats itself the most.
Yep. There you go.
That's what it is.
Yep. Or you can just, when you get your loose leaf paper, you can write all these down. The definition, not the examples, but the definitions of each one. Mean equals average.
Yeah.
Add all numbers and divide. Median, order from least to greatest, find middle number. Mode, most often. Alright, and then we got the last one, which is range. Alright, and this one is really no shortcut to memorize it, you just need to know it. Alright, so range equals biggest minus smallest. Alright, biggest minus smallest. So if I have a set of numbers, for example, and this will be easy. This is why I like putting stuff in order from least to greatest, because if you just look here, it's already. You take this biggest number over here, subtracted by the first number. So the last number subtracted by the first, if they're in order already. Alright, so I'm going to give you all a set of numbers here. Let's say we got 11, 41, 63, 24, and 9. My bad. There we go. So now if we got to find the range, range is biggest minus smallest. What's my biggest number?
63.
Good, 63. And I'm subtracting it by the smallest number, which is 9. That's all range is. Biggest minus smallest. Which is going to give me what? 54. Okay, so range is just simply biggest minus smallest. I want to find how many numbers are in between those two numbers, the biggest number and the smallest number. Alright, that's all that's asking. So if I was to take 9 and add 54, it would give me the 63. If I took 54 away from 63, it would give me 9. Alright, so range is just biggest minus smallest. It's a simple definition.
Oh, so basically that's how you solve it.
Yep.
Check
your work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. You should be able to do the reverse operation.
When do you subtract 63 and 54 and it'll give you 9?
Yep.
Yeah.
But then I will have to add 9 and 54 to give me this. Alright, but that's just if you want to check your work. But again, so these are the simple ways they can get it. You can get it as just numbers given to you. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out, I'm going to do one with a graph, one with a box, and then one with a line graph. Alright, now we're going to find the mean, median, and mode of each one. Alright, so let's start with what I see on the social studies and science the most. Alright, you'll get something like this right here. Get a little table. Okay. And then they'll label it city, then we'll say population. All right, population on the left, cities on the cities on the left, population on the right. All right. So let's just name a bunch of cities that's in Virginia. So,
Richmond.
all right. So let's say Richmond.
What do you consider Matoka as a city?
Yep. Let's call Matoka one. Just name other schools. What we got? Yep. Yep. I'll put Colonial H. There we go.
Fairfax.
Yep. Let's go Fairfax. Hopewell.
Wait, is it Norfolk a city? I think it is.
Yeah.
Hopewell?
Yep. We got Hopewell right here. What's the closest thing to us? Petersburg. Yep. And Rikers. There you go. Nice. All right. So now I'm gonna pick some random numbers. All right. 50,000. 12,000. 15,000. Let's see. 25,400. Let's see. 17,600. Now these are not accurate numbers at all. I'm just picking random ones. 33,250. Alright. 28,000. And then we'll say 16,100. Alright, so there's my numbers. Alright, so I want to find the mean, median, and mode for these. Mean equals median equals mode. Alright, we don't have a mode. I'm going to tell you now because I didn't repeat any numbers, so we don't have a mode. So we're really only finding 3 here. What's the easiest thing of all of these to find right now? Not including the mode. Alright. Well, which one requires only one thing to calculate? I would say this one, right? I can look at this and be like, okay, I can find the range right now because what's the definition? Biggest minus smallest. Alright, so you got your calculator, Mike? Alright, so let's find range. We know mode. We don't have one, so I'm just gonna write NA because we don't have a mode. Not applicable. I think that's the word. Not applicable. Alright, so I'm gonna find the range, which is biggest minus smallest right now. Alright, good. My biggest number right now is 50,000. So for range, I need to do 50,000. My pen works. There we go. 50,000 minus what? What's my smallest number?
12,000.
Good. Alright. And what does that give me?
48,000.
Nice. Equals 38,000. Alright. So my range is 38,000 because I took my definition, biggest minus smallest. Okay. 50,000 minus 12,000 gives me that. Alright. We don't have a mode. There's no repeating numbers up here. Alright. Now, mean. Let's go back to mean. Definition. Alright. Definition. Add all numbers. Then divide by how many numbers there are. So let's go ahead and find how many numbers we have first. How many total numbers do we have up here? So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so I know that at the end, for the mean, I'm going to divide by 8 because it's 8 numbers. Alright, I always like to count my numbers first to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know I'm divided by 8 no matter what. All right, now the part for me is typing these numbers in the calculator the right way. All right, without messing up. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So we got 50,000 plus 12,000 plus 15,000 plus 25,400 plus 17,600 plus 33,250 plus 28,000 plus 16,100. Alright, and I hit enter here. I get a big number like this, 197,350. So that's my first number here. Alright, 197,350. And then what did I say I was going to divide by? How many total numbers we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Divide by the total number of items I have, which is 8. So here's my big number. I got 197,350 divided by 8. Alright, what do I get? Yep. So my average population, and all of those combined, my average population is just right here.
Almost did that in my head. It said 30,000.
There you go. Well, here's what you do know. Here's another quick way to eliminate some answers with your average, right? If any of your answer choices are 1 higher than my highest number, so if I had anything that said 60-some thousand or 51,000, my average is never going to be higher than the biggest number on here. So I can eliminate things like that, and it's never going to be lower than the smallest number. It has to be in between those two. So my numbers, my answer choices can only range from 12,000 to 50,000. All right, and I know it's going to be somewhere in the middle of those two. All right, somewhere in the middle. All right, but I know that if I see an answer choice that's like 60-some thousand, it's out because I can't go higher than my highest number, and I can't go lower than 12,000 for my answer. So that's just another way to eliminate, process of elimination. All right, so let's say 24,000. We'll just leave this whole number. If I had to round, we will just say 24,668.8. All right, but good. That's how we find the mean, 24,668.75. I'm just gonna leave the whole number. All right, now last step, median. All right, median definition. Right here. Order from least to greatest, then find the middle. All right, order from least to greatest. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all call out the order of these. All right, good. That's my smallest. 12,000. I'm gonna write that over here. 12,000. What's next? Good. 15,000. Good. 16,100 at the bottom there. All right. And let's do this. As I'm writing these, I want to check them off so I don't write the same thing twice. So I did this one. All right. I already used that. I already used this one, and I used this one just now. All right. So now, what's next? Okay. Good. 25,400. Check that. 28,000. Okay. Okay, good. I'm just gonna cross these out so they don't get mixed up with this information here. What'd you say?
33,000.
Good. 33,250. Check. I forgot to check this 28 off. Okay.
17.
Oh, we forgot that somewhere, huh?
Yeah.
That should be here.
Yeah.
17,600. Alright, so I just wrote that here. Alright. Is that everything? What's the last thing? What's my biggest number? 50,000. Alright, so now I know when we did mean, I should have 8 numbers. So when I put these things in order from least to greatest, I better count my numbers and make sure I got 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I can start. If I don't got 8 numbers, something is missing here. So we gotta always make sure that if I got 8 numbers here, when I put these in order from least to greatest, I gotta have 8. Alright, so now for median, we cross out 1 from each side until we left with 1, right? So let's start from the left side. Cross that out. Cross that out. Cross this one. Cross this one. Cross this. Cross this. So now what happens? Can I cross these last 2 out? Right, we got an even number, right? So now, what's the rule here when I got an even number for me? There we go. Add them all up. It goes back. Median ends up turning into mean. Add all numbers, divide by the total amount. Alright, so we got 17,600 plus 25,400. Alright, tell me what you get in your calculator for that. Go ahead, type that in. Yeah, you good. Huh? Yeah. Just get the. I got my own. Just bring some ranch for it. That's what, I just needed ranch dressing for it. Yeah. Appreciate it.
But you don't want anything else.
No, that's it. What you get?
I think it's 39,200.
All right, 17. Let's see, 17,600 plus 25,400. I got something else. I got. Are you talking about for the?
I ended up in my hand. So it's the
Oh yeah, no.
That's 43,000.
43,000. All right, and then what's the last part of that? Divide by 2. Nice. Not quite. Around there.
Well, 21,500.
There we go. 21,500. All right, good. So that's a table one. That's a table one. All right, so again, this was a little excessive. I don't think you're going to have this many numbers with a table. On the science or social studies one, they'll give you like probably 5 or 6, not 8. All right, but you got to be ready for it. If you can do this, this is going to be cake work when you get to the one on this on. Yeah. Yeah, if you get one like this, it'll be on the math with this many numbers. Mm-hmm. They love the graphs on these tests, on these GED tests. They just being able to analyze them. You know what I mean?
Especially like a graph problem. So
All right, so here's another way you can get mean, median, and mode. So again, we don't have a mode on this one. All right, but let's just think about mean, median, and range. All right, mean, median, and range. Mean equals median equals, and you don't even need to really draw down this graph if you don't want to. Range.
no,
Gotcha. All right, so let's think about this. Same rules apply. All right, mean. What's my definition of mean? There you go. So how many total pieces of data do I have here? How many bars do I have? How many bar graphs I have on here?
Oh, 3.
3. There you go. So I know I'm dividing by 3. Yep.
No,
So.
I was just adding them up.
Yep, I got you.
It'd be 60. Because you would do 60 plus 75 plus 50, that would give you 180 divided by 3, 60.
Good. So my 3 numbers are 60, 70, and then 50. All right. So what I should have done is add 60 plus 70 plus 50. All right. That gives me 180 like you said. And now I know I divide by 3. All right. Know I got to divide by 3. So 180 divided by 3 gives me 60. So my mean equals 60. All right, median. Yep, order from least to greatest. And then find the middle number. So 50, good. 50, 70, my bad. 50, 60, and then 70. All right, only 3 numbers, so that's easy. It's an odd number, boom, boom. There's my middle number. All right, 60. Okay. And then range. What is the range? How do I find range? Remember, there's no shortcut to learning range. It's just like it's a simple thing you do. Biggest minus smallest. Biggest minus smallest. All right, and you'll catch on to it. It'll come back. All right. Yep, 70 minus 50 equals 20, which is my range. 70 minus 50 is 20. There's my range. All right, so that's a bar graph. All right, see how they can give it to me in a different way? I can get it as that. A table, all right, give me numbers. All right, the last thing I've seen, all right, all right, so we're not going to do it's not going to be mean, median, and mode, but just like these type of graphs can be on the test sometimes too. All right, so anytime I get these, all right, I might get a question that says this right here. How many more bugs were there on Monday than Wednesday? Alright. How many more bugs were there on Monday than Wednesday? Alright, so with this, I just simply count. Just count them. Alright. There you go. So how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. And then over here I got 2. So 6 minus 2 gives me 4. Alright. So just be careful with these. Sometimes people they get confused with this. You'll be surprised. And they see all these up here. Alright, they don't want to count. They just want to count one time. Alright. So don't let that mess you up. Alright, you count however many X's there are for that section. Alright. So that's mean, median, and mode. Alright. There you go. You can do that too, because you know it's only 2 here. Alright, 1, 2, and then there's 4 left right here. Alright, so don't let these type of graphs get you either.